Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this evening's presentation on creating your own self-care kits. My name is Irene Williams, and I'm the Health and Wellness Librarian at the Evanston Public Library. Our speaker this evening is Tabitha Ledbetter, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. Tabitha.
All right, thank you, Irene. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight as we share ideas for creating a self-care kit for your mental health. My name is Tabitha Ledbetter, and I am the social worker at the Evanston Public Library through Ascension, Illinois, St. Francis. I have been here at the library for just a year now, but I've been a social worker for 15 years, working in community mental health in a variety of different settings. I'm really grateful to be a part.
I'm sorry, Tabitha, someone's asking you to speak a little louder.
Okay. I am grateful to be a part of this Evanston community, and I thank you all for joining me in this space as we discuss the mental health coping tool of creating your self-care kit. Sorry, I can't see my screen. Tonight I'm just gonna run through what we're gonna expect in tonight's workshop. So we're gonna cover what is mental health self-care kit. We're gonna learn a grounding exercise and practice it together. We're gonna use the 5 senses to add items and ideas into your kit. We'll discover activities to help distract and process you if you're feeling stressed. Then we're gonna pull it all together. We're gonna talk about what's next. And then you're gonna get to see my kit that I made. You're going to learn how to contact me if you'd like to reach out. And then we'll talk about questions, comments, ideas, and kind of open it up to have a conversation if you'd like at the end. Irene will be monitoring the chat box, so if you have any questions, you can throw them in there, and she'll be looking at that and let me know at the end what we're going to talk about. So I wanted to just start by acknowledging that we all have moments that are hard and we are not okay. This is particularly true this week for most of us. It's been a really difficult week for our country, and more specifically our community in the North Shore area. I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the trauma, the lives lost, and those lives that are forever changed. I wanted to acknowledge the fear, the anger, the sadness, and the mixture of other thoughts and feelings you may be experiencing right now. I know I'm experiencing a lot of different things. I hope that you've been able to find some moments of peace through it all, and perhaps something we cover tonight will help you soothe your heart and mind as well. Remember that your mental health and well-being are important, and hopefully this will help a little bit. The idea for this workshop came from a library staff a few weeks ago or a month ago or so, who recently came across an article online about creating a mental health self-care box. I hadn't really heard of the term so specifically, but I was excited about it. The staff thought it'd be fun and wonderful and an easy tool to share with our community and engage around practical ways to support our mental health. I can't take credit for the idea, but I'm here to help guide you tonight. So what is a mental health self-care kit? It's one of many coping strategies.
Good.
It is a personalized kit you can create.
Good.
Items, reminders, activities, and ideas for you to turn
In
to
this
when you're
room,
feeling
you
overwhelmed.
stand up to be.
If you're feeling overwhelmed, anxious, sad, or other big emotions, need help pushing through them. Sometimes in these moments of big emotions or stress, we forget what helps us. This tool helps you in that moment because you have already taken the time to curate a personalized for you way to cope. All you have to do is go to your kit. You may already be doing this with a drawer in your home, what you keep on your desk at work, or what you carry in your backpack. The idea behind creating a self-care kit is to plan ahead for ways to soothe, distract, and pamper yourself when you might be experiencing strong emotions or a stressful situation, and also have those items in one accessible space that you know where it is. There's also the option to create additional kits for your car, your purse, your work, or other places. I really want to stress that there is no one-size-fits-all self-care kit. This is very personal for you. Everyone has different ways that they find comfort, and sometimes things that are helpful to you may change over time. What I'm going to share with you tonight are just some ideas and ways in which to approach creating a self-care kit for yourself. But really, you know what works best for you and what you may need to find relief. Take a few of these suggestions for a test run. See if they bring relief or are a good distraction. If they work, great. Hold on to them, use them again. But if they don't work for you, set them aside and try another option. There is no right or wrong way to do this. The goal is just to feel prepared to soothe, distract, and pamper yourself when you're having a tough moment or a tough day. I do need to take a moment for a little bit of a disclaimer and tell you what a mental health self-care kit is not. The mental health self-care kit is not intended to replace any medications or treatment prescribed by your doctor or psychiatrist. It's also not intended to be used in a medical or psychiatric emergency. Always call 911 or go to your nearest emergency room in the event of an emergency. This tool may be helpful for big feelings, but should not replace medical or professional intervention in an emergency. If you're looking to find counseling, there are many resources out there. If you would like assistance in locating a counselor or therapist, please feel free to reach out to me, your doctor, your insurance provider, or a trusted friend to help you through the process. I will share my contact information at the end of the program if you would like any support in locating a mental health professional to support you in your journey.
Is holding another rally this coming Saturday. Jacoby says it's important not to become desensitized to mass shootings.
We need to remember that this isn't normal. Living with this kind of gun violence.
Are we able to mute that? Thanks. All right, I always like to start workshops with a simple grounding technique to bring us all into the present moment together. Feel free to participate or not. It's completely up to you. Whoops. This one is called the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding exercise and utilizes all of our 5 senses. You may have heard of it before. It's pretty common. So I invite everybody to take a moment to become aware of your surroundings. Take a deep breath in and hold it for 1, 2, 3 seconds. And breathe out. Take a moment to notice 5 things that you can see around you. Take a moment to notice 4 things that you can touch, physically touch. Notice 3 things that you can hear. Notice 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. Take another real deep breath in, hold it for a few seconds, and let that breath out. If you like this grounding exercise, take note, put it in your self-care kit, and return to it when you feel anxious or overwhelmed. We will have copies of this and other mindfulness activities at our upcoming in-person workshop, which I'll tell you more about later. But we will have some ideas and paper copies of it so that you can look at it and learn them if you'd like to. So congratulations, you have just learned a potential coping tool to add to your self-care kit. All right, let's keep going. So the first thing you're going to do for your self-care kit is to find something to hold the items or ideas of your kit. So this could be anything really, a box, a drawer in your home, a basket, a shelf, a bag, a folder on your computer or your phone, a piece of paper that you just jot down ideas as a reminder of things to do to take care of yourself. Or it could be something totally different. And at the end, we could talk about maybe some ideas you have or something that works for you if you want to share it. If you want to decorate it, so if you have a paper bag and you want to draw on it or paint on it, or if you have a box that you want to make it pretty or write a motivational quote on it, you can, or you don't have to. It's totally up to you. It's your call. There are no rules about how to contain your self-care kit. You can create kits, as we said earlier, to have at different places that you may be, such as work, in your car. You could create a travel version to take with you on the go. Some people prefer to have their items in a box or a basket. Some people prefer to have all their items electronically, digital, and some people like to have paper. So whoever you are, or if you're a combination of all three, just speak to whatever works best for you. That's what it's all about. Next, we're going to explore what you might include in our kits, starting with the 5 senses. So we're going to talk about the 5 senses in the next few slides and ideas around what you could put in your kit or what you could use to soothe yourself based on the 5 senses. I wanted to note that our memories are very often linked to our senses, so be mindful as you're going forward of anything that may trigger past trauma, unpleasant memories, or maybe too intense for what the purpose is. Stick to what is calming, soothing, and positive for you. Additionally, if you have one or more of your senses that is muted, not available, or is triggering for you, please utilize what works best for you in other ways. This could be doing more things for a sense that you do find soothing, or find additional activities, and we'll talk about activities in a bit, but finding other ways to meet that need.
Tabitha, can you just speak a little louder?
I will do my best. We're going to start off with visual or sight as ways to soothe yourself. So some examples are pictures of your loved one, including pets, images or pictures and mementos of favorite things and places, favorite books, quotes, motivational notes to yourself, cards you have received, or maybe even a letter you wrote to yourself. Another idea is sunglasses or a sleep mask to change the lighting. A candle that you can focus on. I have one on my table right now that I'm looking at. You could also utilize your phone or computer to create a folder or playlist of funny or favorite videos and photos, or bookmark your favorite websites. A list of supportive people that you can call, such as a friend, family member, therapist, or crisis line. That last one in particular, I really think is a good idea. Sometimes in these moments you forget who's in your circle and who your supports are. So I think it's good to write out, I can call this person if I feel this way. This person will listen. This person will help me if I need help. Here's a crisis number that is going to help me if I need it. Here's a number to my therapist or my doctor, or my psychiatrist. So I think that that one in particular, I really suggest. In real life, utilizing sight could look like taking out a picture of somebody that's really special to you, that brings you peace, helps you feel safe, and brings warmth to your heart when you're feeling overwhelmed. Next, we are going to explore things that you can physically touch and feel. When I think of self-care, my mind almost always goes directly to cozy blankets. Lots and lots of cozy blankets, or even a weighted blanket. Our sense of touch can be very soothing, and an object's texture can instantly bring peace. Some examples, in addition to the cozy blanket, are other fabrics that you might find particularly soothing. Your favorite shirt or sweatshirt, a favorite hanky, or one that was your grandparents or somebody else. or prayer beads or something else that kind of the texture is really symbolic to you. It could also be your or your loved one's baby blanket, or even a little corner of it. I know a lot of people now kind of take snippets of baby blankets or baby clothes or things like that that are really sentimental. It could be a stuffed animal. It could be a stress ball or a fidget spinner or any of those other handheld focus games. It could be knitting or other crafts that kind of keep your hands busy. It could be hand lotion, a hairbrush or massager, a thing that's something, think of something that's really soothing and gentle. Touch and feel can also be something more of an idea or something that you can't put in a box. So I wouldn't try putting these things in a box, but hugs or petting an animal or a shower. So even though you can't put a shower in your self-care kit, you can put a card maybe that says hug, or you can put in a body wash that's your favorite that reminds you to take a nice long shower because it's going to help you feel calmer. In real life, you could turn to your self-care kit and pull out something that's touch or feel, like coming home after a rough day at work and putting on your favorite old, perfectly worn in sweatshirt and keeping your hands busy with your current knitting project. It could also be squeezing your stress ball during a particularly long Zoom meeting or any of the above. Next, we're going to explore sound. We're going to explore the things that you can hear. Music and calming sounds can be quite powerful in shifting your mood. Many of us have music in some form or another at our fingertips or nearby. So this may be a good way to utilize your phone as an extension of your self-care kit. The world can also be a pretty noisy place, so it may be silence or the absence of sound that is needed in that moment. I know I often need a little bit of silence. Some examples of utilizing sound are a CD or a playlist on your phone or computer that has music for all moods, or meditations, or sounds, or whatever it is that you find soothing. It may be an app for meditation on your phone, such as Headspace, Calm, Insight Timer, or any of the ones out there. Some of them are even free, so I encourage you to look into that if you are interested. It could also be a musical instrument. Again, that may not fit into your self-care kit, but again, it's the idea that reminding yourself of what brings you peace. Maybe strumming your guitar, or playing the violin, or banging on a drum, whatever it is, maybe that is what you need in a moment when you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed. It could be a singing bowl, earplugs, noise-canceling headphones, or even a white noise machine, which just kind of creates a little hum like a fan. A real life example of this would maybe at bedtime, putting on a bedtime meditation when your mind is racing and you cannot sleep. If the meditation does not work, maybe try the noise-canceling headphones or earplugs and see if that helps cut out any unwanted noise. Next, we're going to explore smell or scents. Personally, I'm really amazed at how quickly a particular scent can take me back to a specific moment in time or alter my mood, whether it's intentional or not. Some examples of using the sense of smell to provide relief is through aromatherapy and essential oils, which is pretty popular these days. You can find all kinds of books at the library or online to tell you kind of how to go about using it, how to safely go about doing it. In particular, I think lavender, eucalyptus, mint, or citrus have kind of been proven to lift a mood or help calm you down. You could also use a favorite candle and whatever scent that you love. You could also go to your spice rack and look at the vanilla bean, cinnamon stick, or a favorite seasoning. I love thyme and basil, so any of those things can kind of bring a sense of calm. You could also put in a flower or an herb, and then the classics of lotion, lip balm, you name it. And In my personal life, I'm really into scents. I think the smell of lavender really is pretty soothing, so I lean pretty heavily on it. If you see my desk at work, there's all kinds of lavender things. I have lavender lotions, tea, dried lavender. I grow lavender on my porch. I have candles and many other forms of lavender. And I breathe it in many times throughout the day, every day. Just before this, I did. When I need to shift my thinking, when I need a transition to something new, or I just need help winding down. And the last sense that we're going to explore is taste. I think this one's pretty easy to conceptualize. What is comforting to you? What's a special treat? What brings you joy? What meets a need when you're hangry, hungry, any of those? Or what helps you slow down? Take into consideration your own dietary restrictions or sensitivities. Some other examples are foods and flavors that bring a certain emotion. It could bring you calm, joy, relief, happiness, excitement, any of those. Chocolate, other candy. I know I love chocolate. A lot of people love chocolate. Hot tea, hot cocoa, hot coffee. Those things really help us slow down, to breathe in the warm liquid. It could also be a really cold drink that kind of perks you up. It could also be a practical food like a granola bar or a trail mix when all you need is food. Sometimes we feel a certain way, and maybe it's just that we haven't eaten in several hours. We forgot to eat lunch. And then there's also gum, mints, or brushing our teeth, which can really perk us up. It can really just kind of jolt you into a different place. I know that I do this sometimes, like popping some mints or chewing some gum can really bring you back to life if you're feeling a little low that day. So again, in real life, this could just be finding some comfort in a piece of chocolate, winding down with a hot cup of tea, or chewing a piece of peppermint gum when your energy is low or your mood is low. In addition to items related to the 5 senses are activities to distract you and to help process your feelings. Distraction sometimes is helpful to push through anxiety, fear, loneliness, or sadness, or any other emotions. It is very important to work through your stressors, to work through your feelings, and to resolve conflict. But distraction has its place when big feelings are overwhelming and impacting your day, or maybe you just are not ready to face those feelings yet. Sometimes these activities end up helping you process the emotions. So be open to that moment and pull in your supports if you need them in that moment. Some activities to consider are coloring books or mandalas, crayons, colored pencils, markers, paint, whatever your medium is, knitting and other crafts. That keeps your hands busy, kind of keeps you occupied. Journals and pens, this could be to write out a fear, it could be to write out a gratitude, it could be, to make a decision, whatever it is. I think journaling is really powerful. There are also word games, Sudoku, puzzles. Activities also involve favorite movies. Included is also funny animal or baby videos. I always have a couple kind of in my back pocket to turn to if I need a little bit of a boost. And there are also mindfulness exercises. So remember that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise we did earlier? That's a grounding technique. There are also meditations and guided imagery. There are breathing exercises and body scans. The more you do these, the more you kind of feel more confident doing them, more comfortable doing them on your own. But there are so many different tools out there. There are books, there are meditation apps, there are YouTube videos that are free. We will also have some printed out at our in-person workshops on Saturday and Monday with some options for breathing exercises or grounding exercises or body scan. So if you have any questions about those, you can feel free to ask later, or we can we'll have some examples for you later on. In a real life example of using activities The use of coloring can provide calm and relief in moments of high anxiety. Journaling can also help you process feelings of loss or help work through a distressing decision. Grounding exercises can help you root back to the moment in space and time if you feel overwhelmed or detached from yourself. So now that we've gone through some ideas of what to put in your kit, I wanted to kind of pull it together and give you a couple tips as you begin this journey or continue on this journey. I wanted to recommend, if you're new to this, to start simply. Don't overload your kit with too many things. That can be really overwhelming in the moment when you're trying to find relief. So I would suggest maybe choosing a couple things from each sense, or maybe a couple activities. Give them a try, and if they don't work, you can let go of them. And if you want to add in some new things, you can, or what some new options you can. So you can look back at this and kind of think of some things you'd like to try and see if it works. I encourage you to return to your kit as often as needed, and perhaps you even start utilizing the kit more regularly. Perhaps you start using the kit before you even need it. So perhaps you come home from just a fine day of work and you use some of those techniques and it just becomes habit. And then you notice that maybe some days aren't so bad. And eventually you'll just start using them. But there will still be those days. I still have those days that are hard, and you just need that reminder of what works for you. So I'm going to give you an example, and I'll read this to you, but feel free to read it on your own too. I wanted to give you an idea of how to utilize a self-care kit in maybe your everyday life. This is a complete fictional example of somebody to help you see what it might look like to use a self-care kit during a tough moment. So here's the example. Jesse had a challenging day at work and encountered a lot of road rage on their drive home. They can't seem to shake it when they get home. They feel angry, frustrated, and on edge. Their instinct is to grab a beer out of the fridge and vent on social media. But they see their self-care kit in the kitchen counter where they placed their keys when they got home. They choose their favorite herbal tea and practice some deep breathing when the tea steeps. Their dog walks into the room and they cuddle him for a while. They notice after the tea that they're still a little frustrated, so they find something to distract themselves. They find a YouTube video of funny animals. Before you know it, they're laughing and not focused so much on the tough day they just had. They note that this is different than in the past, when they would have just continued to be angry or maybe yelled at their partner or engaged in unhealthy behaviors. So it's kind of a best case scenario. It's not always going to turn out this way, but I think it's good to try. It's good to try to shift those hard moments, even if it's just to distract yourself. You can also choose to be in that moment and to feel those feelings, but this is a tool if you need help getting through the feelings. I hope this example maybe helps you understand what this idea of a mental health self-care kit is. It can be a collection of objects, but could also be kind of an idea of how we approach hard moments, big feelings, stressful days, you name it. And maybe, just maybe, you'll consider putting one together for yourself. If you are interested in putting one together, and you'd like to assemble your kit together with us, I will be at the Robert Crown branch of the library on Saturday, July 9th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'll be kind of in the lobby right outside the library. You can't miss us. And then Irene and I will both be at the main library on Monday, July 11th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. in the Falcon Room up on the 3rd floor. We will be there to answer any questions. We're going to have some samples of items that you may want to include in your kit, including those printouts of mindfulness exercises and additional resources. I'll also be there if you have a question or just want to meet me. And Irene can tell you about the health and wellness programming at the library as well. It's really just to allow a space for you to further consider, if you want, what your self-care kit could be. It's also optional to bring your kit with you if you'd like. I might have some markers if you want to decorate it. I'll have some bags, and then you can kind of go from there if you'd like. There's no registration for the in-person workshops. Just come as you are, come in during that time, and we would be happy to see you there. So I wanted to show you my self-care kit. So these are some of my go-to items, and there's some of my distraction activities that help me find calm. The pictures are not great. It was a little dark that night, but there are coloring books and crayons, which I love to do. There are candles, which hits the scent and the visual. There's chocolate and tea, which goes to the calming effect of taste. There's essential oils. Again, I'm a big lavender person, but sometimes that peppermint is really helpful. This yoga DVD I haven't watched in a long time, but it's a reminder that yoga is helpful sometimes if I'm feeling stressed. And there's chapstick and lotion and a bath bomb, again, to help kind of remind myself to do those things that I find relaxing. There's a book on gardening. So again, this is kind of more of an idea than something in my box I would actually do. But it reminds me that I love to be in the garden. I love to be outside. And sometimes that change of pace and that activity can really be what you need to shift out of whatever it is that you're feeling. Likewise with the hat, reminds me to go for a walk, to get some sun, to do that if I am able to, if I feel comfortable doing it, and if the situation allows it. We got DVDs here. You can't go wrong with these movies, which can really make you laugh, make you cry, whatever it is that you need. And then there's a book of kind of meditations, and then my journal and a pen. So that's kind of what I use. Yours might look very different, might look similar, but just wanted to show you that I too have made one. It's sitting next to me too. So I just want to thank you all again for joining me tonight. I hope that you have found some ideas that you may want to try. Remember that this is just one of many ideas out there for soothing yourself. If this idea does not work for you, keep on exploring. There are many other techniques out there to care for yourself and your mental health. Please feel free to reach out to me by phone. My number is up there, but I'll also say it. It's 847-448-8659. My email is also there. I also provided you the Ascension Behavioral Health Crisis Line at 708-681-4357. That's available to you 24/7. It's just a crisis line if you need to talk through something, if you're feeling overwhelmed, and there's always people there to support you. So now I want to open it up if anyone has any questions, reactions to what was presented. If you didn't hear it because I'm talking a little quiet, or if you have any additional ideas for what to include in your self-care kit, I encourage you to, I think Irene's going to look at the chat, and then she might invite you to speak. I also want to encourage you, if you want to reach out to me privately, if it's something more personal, you can email me or call me directly.
So if anyone has, first I want to thank Tabitha for that wonderful presentation. If anyone have any questions for her, please feel free to ask. You can either unmute yourselves or type it in the chat box. Any questions? We have one question from Marcy. She wants to know if they can get a copy of the presentation.
Definitely. I will send it along to Irene, and then Shimi, I think you'd send it out to participants. We'll make sure that you get it somehow.
Luann, she says that if you have Netflix, there are some great episodes of Headspace that are free.
That's a great recommendation. Yeah, I'm always surprised at how much content out there, helpful content is out there that
Yeah.
can really help you in these moments.
And just a reminder, again, this presentation is being recorded and it will be uploaded to our library's YouTube channel. And those of you who did register, I'll send that link out to you, as well as Tabitha's slides.
Do you want to stop recording for the questions?
Yes.